Romance, in the sunlit world above, is often painted as a gentle dance of courtship and consent, a spectacle of vibrant feathers and complex arias designed to impress. But strip away the photon belt, descend past the reach of the sun, and the very definition of intimacy warps into something unrecognizable. Down here, in the crushing blackness, the greatest love story on Earth plays out like a visceral nightmare. Imagine a lover who greets you, not with a caress, but with a violence that defies comprehension. A jaw locked tight against your flesh, never to open again. This is not an attack. It is a permanent marriage proposal. Slowly, the boundary between two beings begins to chemically dissolve. The dermis fuses. Bloodstreams merge into a singular hydraulic system. The suitor's eyes, no longer needed in a world of eternal contact, rot away. His internal organs atrophy, liquefied by his own biology to fuel the connection. He ceases to be an individual entity, reducing himself to a living, breathing appendage attached permanently to his mate. To the uninitiated human eye, this looks like an atrocity, a grotesque accident of nature, where one life consumes another. But this biological horror is actually a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. It is the ultimate answer to a question the ocean has whispered for millions of years. How do you ensure the survival of your species in a void so vast, so dark, and so empty that finding a partner is statistically impossible? Welcome to the Midnight Zone. Here, loneliness is the default state of existence, and the price of connection is your very identity. We are about to descend into a realm where mating is not merely dangerous, it is a suicide mission. And yet, as we shall see, this terrifying union is perhaps the most profound act of devotion in the animal kingdom. To understand why nature would resort to such a macabre strategy, we must first abandon the comforts of the Holocene world. We leave behind the sun-drenched photic zone, the chaotic, vibrant reefs, and the warm currents where life flourishes in riotous abundance. As we sink past the 200-meter mark, the sapphire blue of the ocean deepens into a bruising purple, and then, finally, into absolute, suffocating black. We have crossed the invisible threshold into the bathypelagic, the midnight zone. Here, the water is a near-freezing cloak of eternal darkness. The silence is profound, broken only by the groan of settling currents. The pressure is no longer a gentle embrace. It is a crushing hydrostatic weight, hundreds of times greater than at sea level. A relentless, invisible vice, capable of collapsing lungs and warping solid steel. Every molecule of water here presses in with the intent to annihilate, demanding that any life form surviving here must be constructed of sterner stuff than bone and gristle. Shutterstock. But the true terror of the deep is not the pressure, nor the skeletal cold. It is the scale. We often say we know more about the surface of Mars than we do about the bottom of our own oceans. But that comparison fails to capture the sheer, terrifying volume of this place. The Midnight Zone is a three-dimensional void of staggering proportions, the largest habitat on the planet, yet it is hauntingly empty. It is a biological desert. The distance between two living things here can be measured in miles of isolating nothingness. Imagine being dropped into a pitch-black forest the size of a continent, with no map, no light, and no sound. Now, imagine your sole purpose is to find one specific individual who is also wandering blindly in the dark. The statistical odds of a chance meeting are virtually zero. In this abyss, loneliness is not just an emotion. It is an extinction-level threat. To remain alone is to die, and the darkness offers no second chances. The environment demands a radical solution, a way to turn a chance encounter into a permanent bond. Out of this oppressive Stygian gloom, a single, haunting point of light emerges. It drifts like a mesmerizing star in a dead sky. This is the bioluminescent lure of the female anglerfish, a creature that evolution has sculpted into the ultimate ambush predator. She is a nightmare of efficiency, a gaping maw lined with translucent, needle-sharp teeth, a stomach capable of distending to swallow prey twice her size, and a body darker than the abyss itself. She is the monarch of this realm, a lonely queen drifting through the void. But she is not alone. Trailing in her wake, dwarfed by her colossally distinct bulk, is a creature so drastically different it barely seems to belong to the same genus. He is tiny, weak, lacking the terrifying jaw or the hypnotic lure. He is the male anglerfish, and he is born with a singular, desperate purpose: to find her. His olfactory senses are supercharged, tuned to detect the faintest pheromone trail across cubic miles of water. He does not eat. He does not hunt. He is a biological missile, fueled by a dwindling reserve of energy, racing against a ticking clock of starvation. When he finally locates her, there is no courtship dance. There is no gentle nuzzling. Driven by an instinct as old as the ocean itself, he drives his teeth into her flank. He bites deep, drawing blood, and locks his jaw in a calcified grip. And then, the true horror and the true miracle begins. The male releases a unique enzyme that acts like a chemical acid, dissolving the skin of his mouth and the flesh of her body where they connect. The wound does not heal over, it opens up. The barrier between two individual organisms melts away. Capillaries expand and weave together in a microscopic tapestry. His blood vessels fuse with hers. Slowly, terrifyingly, he begins to vanish. His eyes, no longer needed to search the dark, wither and recede. His fins shrivel. His stomach, his heart, his brain, all unnecessary luxuries now that he is sustained by her bloodstream atrophy and dissolve. He is effectively digested alive, but he does not die. He becomes a chimera. He is reduced to nothing more than a pair of gonads attached to the female's body, a living sperm bank, perpetually ready, supplied with nutrients by her blood, ensuring that when she is ready to spawn, a mate is not miles away, but literally a part of her flesh. This is sexual parasitism. It is a term that sounds predatory, yet it describes a symbiotic sacrifice of staggering proportions. In a world where the next meal or the next partner might never come, nature decided that autonomy was a luxury the anglerfish could not afford. To survive the crushing solitude of the midnight zone, two must become, quite literally, one. This radical fusion mocks our terrestrial obsession with the self. In the sunlit world, we view individuality as sacred, and the loss of one's body as the ultimate tragedy. But the anglerfish teaches us a humbling lesson about the limits of existence. Survival does not care for your ego. This creature challenges the very definitions of male and female, of predator and prey, and even of life and death. Is the male dead? Technically, his heart has stopped, his brain is gone, and his body is consumed. Yet, genetically, he has achieved the ultimate victory. He is immortalized within her, his biological imperative fulfilled in perpetuity. It forces us to confront a chilling possibility about life beyond Earth. If we look for life on the frozen moons of Jupiter or Saturn, hidden beneath miles of ice in oceans far darker and colder than our own, we should not expect to find counterparts to ourselves. We should expect this. We should expect life that treats the physical body not as a temple, but as raw material, malleable, disposable, and ready to be sacrificed for the persistence of the code it carries. The anglerfish is not a freak of nature. It is a glimpse into the ruthless efficiency required to survive at the thermodynamic limits of the universe. As we pull back, ascending slowly away from this chimeric couple, the light of the female's lure becomes a pinprick once more, a lonely star swallowed by the galactic blackness of the midnight zone. We leave them drifting in the eternal night, a two-bodied soul bound by a pact of flesh and blood, silent witnesses to the crushing pressure of the deep. What appeared to us initially as a grotesque horror story has revealed itself to be a tale of profound resilience. It is a love story written in acid and teeth, a testament to life's refusal to be extinguished, no matter how hostile the dark becomes. But as that final light fades from view, one question remains to haunt us in the silence. If this is the solution evolution devised for the parts of the ocean we have seen, for the creatures we have found, what unthinkable strategies are waiting in the 95% of the ocean we have never touched? What other monstrosities of affection are drifting right now in the unseen abyss, waiting for a light to reveal them? The dark is not empty. It is just waiting for us to be brave enough to look.